Topic: Why your first $10,000 changes everything. It's 2:47 a.m. You're not sleeping. Not because you're excited. Not because you're inspired. But because your brain has decided tonight is the perfect time to run a horror movie marathon. Starring your finances. What if your car doesn't start tomorrow? What if your phone dies and you can't replace it? What if you get sick? What if your job disappears? Nothing has actually gone wrong. Time equals sign 0.6s. But your mind is already preparing for disaster. Now let me ask you a question. What if there was a single financial milestone that made most of those fears disappear? Not because you became rich, not because you won the lottery, but because you finally crossed a quiet, underrated line that changes how your brain reacts to life. That number isn't $1 million. It's not even $10,000. It's $10,000. And today, I'm going to explain why your first $10,000 saved doesn't just change your bank account. It changes how you think, how you sleep, how you make decisions, and how you move through the world. Why money stress feels so heavy. When you don't have savings, money becomes loud. Every purchase feels risky. Every bill feels personal. Every unexpected expense feels like an attack. You're not bad with money, and you're just operating without a buffer. When there's no cushion, your brain goes into survival mode. Survival mode says, don't take risks. Avoid change. Learn for worry. Stay exactly where you are. One mistake could ruin everything. That's why people living paycheck to paycheck often feel stuck, even when they're working hard. It's not laziness. It's constant financial threat detection. And when you're under threat, you don't plan long-term. You react short-term. That's where $10,000 quietly changes the game. What $10,000 actually represents. Here's the important part most people miss. $10,000 isn't about spending power. It's about option power. It's not money you show off. It's money you don't touch. It represents time, space, margin, control. With $10,000 saved, you're no longer one problem away from chaos. You're no longer negotiating with life from a position of fear. And the crazy part? Most people who hit $10,000 don't change their lifestyle at all. They change their nervous system. The stress chemistry shift. Your body doesn't understand budgets. It understands safety. When you have no savings, your stress hormone, cortisol, stays elevated. That means worse sleep, shorter patience, lower focus, more emotional reactions. Now here's what researchers consistently find. When people have emergency savings, their cortisol levels drop. Same job, same income, same life, different stress response. That's why a $600 car repair can feel like the end of the world to one person, and like a mild inconvenience to another. The difference isn't toughness, it's preparedness. The check engine light test. Let's do a simple thought experiment. Your check engine light turns on. Person A. Heart rate spikes. Immediate panic. Credit card math starts. Who can I borrow from? Person B. Sighs. Schedules a mechanic. Slightly annoyed, moves on with their day. Same problem. Different savings. This is what $10,000 does. It turns emergencies into errands. How? $10,000 changes risk. When you have nothing saved, every risk feels dangerous. New job? Risky. Moving cities? Terrifying. Asking for a raise? What if it backfires? But when you have $10,000, you don't become reckless. You become calmly brave. You might speak up at work, invest in a skill, walk away from bad situations, say no without fear. You stop making decisions just to survive the month and start making decisions for the next 5 years. Why the money itself isn't the point. Time equals sign 0.6s. Here's a paradox. Most people who save $10,000 never use it for emergencies. They use it for opportunities. Because once the panic is gone, creativity shows up. They finally have the mental space to ask, how can I earn more? Time equals sign 0.6s. What skills are worth learning? What's the next move? The emergency fund doesn't just protect you. It unlocks your brain. The identity shift. The hardest part of saving $10,000 isn't the math. It's identity. Most people treat saving like a punishment. I'll suffer now, then stop. Successful savers think differently. I am someone who saves. That belief changes everything. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, is this worth it? That one question alone rewires your financial future. Why $10,000 is the sweet spot. From a practical standpoint, $10,000 covers most car repairs, medical surprises, several months of expenses, short-term job loss, family emergencies. It doesn't make you rich, but it makes you resilient. And resilience is what keeps people out of debt, out of panic, and out of bad decisions. Confidence compounds. Once you have savings, something subtle happens. You negotiate better. You walk taller. You stop tolerating nonsense. Well, not because you're arrogant, but because you're not desperate. And desperation is expensive. Confidence, on the other hand, pays dividends. Better jobs, better choices, better relationships. Closing message. If your bank account feels empty right now, hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not bad with money. You are simply pre-buffer. Start small. Be consistent. Focus on identity, not speed. Because the real magic of your first $10,000 isn't the number. It's the person you become while building it. And once that person exists, everything else gets easier.